Let me ask you something real quick. What time did you wake up this morning? And more importantly, why? You say you want success. You say you want freedom. You say you want to make a name, leave a mark, change your life. But you're waking up at 9, 10, 11 o'clock like the world owes you something. Success doesn't knock on the door at noon. It doesn't wait for you to wipe the sleep out of your eyes and scroll your feed. Success is out there at 4:35, 6 in the morning, grinding. Waking up early isn't just a habit. It's a declaration of discipline. It's not about being a morning person. It's about being a purpose-driven person. When your alarm goes off before the sun comes up and your body is screaming for more sleep, that's the moment where discipline is born. That's the battle between comfort and commitment, between average and excellent. Most people lose that fight because they're controlled by how they feel, not by what they want. But the successful, they win that fight daily because they're not driven by emotion, they're driven by mission. Discipline is the foundation of every successful person's life. And waking up early is the front line where that discipline is tested. It means getting up when it's cold, when it's dark, when nobody's watching, and still doing what you said you would do. It's not glamorous. It's not always fun. It's not always fun. But it separates the ones who talk about goals from the ones who actually chase them. Discipline shows up when you rise before the world, while others are hitting snooze, while the streets are quiet and you're already in motion. It means making a decision the night before and following through the next morning no matter how tired, unmotivated, or discouraged you feel. Because discipline doesn't negotiate. It doesn't check the weather. It doesn't ask how you feel. It moves regardless. When you can control your mornings, you begin to control your life. You stop reacting to the day and start owning it. The most successful people understand that how you do anything is how you do everything. So if you can master the small things, like getting out of bed early, you build the muscle to handle the big things. Discipline built in the dark shows up in the light. It's in those early hours when no one is clapping for you that you decide whether you're serious or just pretending. Waking up early is a message to yourself and the universe. You are not a slave to your feelings. You are a servant of your vision. The early morning is a battleground most people never enter. While the rest of the world is still asleep, snoozing alarms and wrapped in comfort, the successful are already in motion, fighting battles others never see. The silence of the morning isn't empty. It's powerful. It's filled with opportunity, focus, and clarity. There are no texts, no emails, no social media distractions pulling at your mind. It's just you, your thoughts, your goals, and the grind. That silence gives birth to progress because it creates space to think, to plan, to execute without noise. It's in those early hours that your vision becomes louder than your doubts. The quiet isn't just peaceful, it's strategic. It allows you to hear your inner voice without interruption. The clarity that comes with early hours helps you align your actions with your purpose. This is the time when ideas come alive, when strategies are formed, when you finally hear the truth you've been ignoring because the chaos of the day drowned it out. The morning gives you head start, an advantage most people give away by sleeping in. You get the chance to make progress before the day throws distractions at you. You're not reacting to life, you're directing it. It's where deep work happens. It's where momentum starts. While others are still warming up, you're halfway through your list. While others are still in bed, you're moving closer to your goals. Every minute in the morning is worth 10 during the day because you're not competing with the noise of the world. That silence is your secret weapon. And once you master it, you realize you don't need motivation. You just need the moment. That stillness becomes your fuel. It becomes your time to build discipline. Train your mindset, strengthen your intentions, and prepare for the war that the rest of the day will bring. You don't wait for the world to push you forward. You use the silence to launch yourself. Success is not going to wait for anyone to get out of bed. It doesn't care about how late you stayed up, how tired you feel, or what excuses you've lined up. Success shows up early, and it rewards the ones who are up to meet it. While the rest of the world is dragging itself out of sleep, the successful are already moving. They're already ahead. Every minute you spend sleeping past sunrise is a minute someone else is using to get sharper, smarter, stronger. Someone out there is studying while you're still in bed. Someone is grinding, building, preparing. Success has a schedule, and it doesn't run on your comfort. It runs on discipline, urgency, and effort. You say you want to change your life, but your actions are still sleeping in. People talk about luck, about timing, about connection. But what they overlook is the grind that happens before the world is awake. They don't see the sacrifices made at 5 a.m., the hours spent in silence building, creating, becoming. Those hours are the down payment on every victory. And when the opportunity comes knocking, it's too late to start preparing. You need to be ready. The ones who succeed are the ones who were preparing long before it was convenient. Success doesn't tap on your window and wait for you to roll out of bed. It walks right past the unprepared and hands the prize to the one who showed up early, every day without fail. You want to stand out? Wake up before the average person. Move before the average person. Plan, act, and prepare while they're still dreaming. That's how separation is created. That's how distance is built between good and great. Most people will never understand what it feels like to be ahead of the world. Not because they're incapable, but because they chose comfort. They chose sleep over progress. But those who wake up early, they chose to be uncommon. They chose to meet success on its terms. They understood that by the time most people get started, the race is already halfway over. Waking up early gives you something most people never experience: mental clarity. Mental clarity. For forsake. It's not just about getting out of bed. It's about creating space in your mind before the chaos of the day begins. When you rise before the noise, before the texts start coming in, before social media pulls your attention, before the demands of the world hit you, you're giving yourself the gift of silence. And within that silence is clarity. That's when you start hearing your own thoughts. That's when your goals stop being vague ideas and start becoming real, structured plans. That early morning time gives you the mental bandwidth to think, reflect, prioritize, and attack your day with intention instead of drifting through it. When you wake up late, you're already reacting. You're chasing time, running behind, scrambling to keep up. But when you wake up early, you're in control. You decide what matters. You determine where your focus goes. You set your priorities, your tone, your energy. That clarity sharpens your vision. It helps you see what needs to be done and why. It's in those quiet hours that your mission becomes clear. Your focus becomes tighter, and your drive becomes unstoppable. You're not running on emotion, on impulse, or on stress. You're running on strategy. That's the power of a clear mind. It doesn't just help you get things done. It helps you get the right things done. Clarity in the morning means you're not wasting time trying to figure out what to do. You already know. It means less mental fog, less distraction, less confusion. Your goals aren't lost in the noise. They're front and center. You think clearer, make decisions faster, and execute better. You move through your day with direction because you took the time early on to align your actions with your purpose. The mind, when calm and undisturbed, becomes a weapon. And early rising gives you that edge. It's a time to center yourself, reset your mindset, and reinforce your purpose before the world has a chance to pull you away from it. Winners don't wait for the perfect time to act. They move while others stall. They don't need a full 8 hours, a sunny morning, or the perfect playlist to get going. They move when it's inconvenient. They rise when it's hard. And they grind while the rest of the world is hitting snooze. That's the difference. While most people are negotiating with themselves about whether they feel like getting up, winners are already on the move. They understand that action breeds momentum, and momentum builds separation. The early hours of the morning are where the separation begins. Before the day has a chance to overwhelm them, they've already taken control. It's not just about waking up early. It's about what they do with those hours. It's about using that quiet time to build strength, both mentally and physically, while the rest of the world is still in bed waiting for the right mood to strike. Movement in the early hours sends a message to the world and to yourself. You're not average. You're not doing what everyone else is doing. You're moving forward, even when it's uncomfortable. You're proving to yourself that your goals matter more than your feelings. And once you build that rhythm, it changes everything. You don't need motivation anymore because your habits are carrying you above weight. Oh, you don't wait for the energy. You create it. The early grind becomes your anchor, the thing that grounds you no matter what chaos the day brings. It gives you a head start. A mental and physical edge that most people simply won't have because they chose comfort instead. Success isn't reserved for the talented. It's reserved for the consistency starts in the dark and the quiet in the quiet, in the early hours when no one is watching. That's when character is built. That's when winners are made. They don't just show up when the lights are on. They show up when it's just them and the work. While others delay, question, or wait for the perfect moment, winners act. They use every moment available to, especially the ones most people throw away. That's how they stay ahead. That's how they dominate. That's how they separate from the crowd. Extraordinary success doesn't come from doing what everyone else is doing. It comes from going beyond average, beyond comfort, beyond the habits of the masses. The people who rise to the top didn't get there by luck. They got there by creating habits that most people aren't willing to commit to. Waking up early is one of those habits. It's not glamorous. It's not exciting every day, but it's effective. It's one of the clearest signals that you're serious about being different. When the world is still sleeping and you're already up grinding, you're sending a powerful message. Not just to others, but to yourself, that you're willing to pay the price for greatness. That's what extraordinary people do. They pay upfront in sweat, sacrifice, and discipline. They don't wait for the right mood, the right conditions, or the right motivation. They act consistently and relentlessly while others wait. The difference between ordinary and extraordinary is just that little bit extra. And for most people, the extra feels like too much. It's too early, too hard, too lonely. But that's exactly why it works. That's exactly why it sets you apart. Every early morning, you show up as a strike against mediocrity. Every time you push through fatigue and start your day while others sleep, you're stacking wins, building confidence, and gaining ground. Extraordinary results are the consequence of extraordinary discipline, and the early hours are the testing ground. It's where you either commit to being elite or fall back into the crowd. There's no shortcut. There's no hack. Just you, your goals, and the willingness to wake up and chase them before anyone else does. When you rise early, you create a lifestyle of intention. You choose purpose over pleasure, vision over comfort, and long-term impact over short-term ease. That choice is what defines success, what creates leaders, innovators, and game changers. And it's not just about one early morning. It's about building a mindset that says, I will do what others won't so I can have what others can. That mindset practiced daily becomes unstoppable. It becomes the engine behind every breakthrough, every transformation, and every extraordinary achievement. So now you know waking up early isn't just a habit, it's a lifestyle. It's a decision that says you refuse to settle for average. It's the silent contract between you and your future, signed every morning before the world opens its eyes. You want to rise? Then rise early. You want to lead? Then lead yourself out of that bed. You want to win? Then start when others are sleeping, because the grind doesn't wait. The opportunity doesn't wait. Success doesn't wait. It shows up early. The only question is, will you be awake to meet it?